Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I believe you can all see my screen. If at any time there are any audio or video issues, please again just post it into the question or chat area and I am monitoring that to make sure that you can see everything we need to see today. And welcome to this webinar. This is going to be a classroom management webinar. I am your favorite Senso Tech Jedi. If you are familiar with our training videos, that's how my kind of tagline that I always start all of our videos with. Um, my name is Lisa Nelson. I have been with Senso kind of since the beginning. I was a former customer as well as a tech director at a school district for over 14 years. I was also a teacher, so I'm very well versed in all things on both sides. Being a user of Senso, being an administrator of Senso, being a tech director for a school district. We had a mixed environment. Our school district was a very early adopter of Chromebooks one-to-one. So I'm well versed in all things education and management of devices and students. So that is something that I really am passionate about talking about. I find that professional development is crucial, especially when it comes to classroom management and classroom management inside the classroom. So that's the term that we like to use for this monitoring and managing software. So I'm so glad everybody could join us today. I am going to jump right into things. And again, please feel free to type any questions you have as we go through this into either the chat or question area. So great thing about Senso is that single sign-on. You don't necessarily have to create your own password information. You can go ahead and single sign-on with any of the integrations that are there, Microsoft, Google, or Clever. Today, I'm actually going to single sign on with my Google account. Remember which one I set up for this. And it's going to go ahead and take me right on into my portal. Now, I have specifically set up this portal to mirror classroom management tools. So this string of tools up here at the top is what we will be going over today. I will also be kind of introducing some tips and tricks and different things that I think is great about our software that may help you utilize it and make the most of it in your classroom or at your school. You'll see here I've also included some integration. We have Google Classroom integration. We also have with Microsoft Teams, Azure AD Group. So we have a lot of Clever. We have a lot of integrations. So really your portal is going to be customized to your setup at your school. How it's set up for you, the tools that have been made available to you, the integrations that have been made available to you. So this is really a great part of our product. It's going to be very customizable to our users. For this one, we're going to be looking at, the Google integration side of it, and then these classes and groups that are created over here to the left. And then you see I've kind of given a mix of Chromebook and PC devices today to kind of show you what that's going to look like. So let's go to look at the list view here. The views, you have two different kinds of view. You can stay in here in list view, you can see the device, the users, their status if they're online, their last login as well. You have some information up here at the top that is very useful. The search box, if you're looking for a specific user, utilize that search box. That's going to be something in thumbnail view that may be very handy for you to have if you're really wanting to pinpoint into one student at a time. You have the ability to look at all your online devices and select them. That tool right there is a very nice way to go ahead and just select the devices that you need to select without having to go individually and click in each of those boxes. If you want to clear the selected, that's what that X is for there. You can also filter it down if you just want to see the online devices, kind of clear away all of those that are offline and kind of clean up your view here. Device details is really nice. If you go into device details, you can pull things like IP address, user, that sort of thing. This is going to be individual. You'll just want to utilize a tick box here to go ahead and pull that information. And then you can refresh your group members right here. So let's go ahead, let's jump on over into thumbnail view. Now, it happened so quick. I don't know if you saw it, but we have a new feature that when you go into thumbnail view now, it actually will resize these thumbnails to the best fit for your portal. So you may notice that if you have a lot of devices in here, when you go into your portal next time, it will kind of resize those boxes for you to go ahead and make it a nice clean look for you. Now, again, you can use the magnifying up here at the top to kind of change that size to whatever is your preferred preferred thumbnail size view, but I think that's a really cool feature that's out now, that it kind of looks at the resolution that you have on your monitor, and it's going to go ahead and resize those boxes for you. So in here, let's just do a quick overview of the tools. I'm sure if you're a user of Senso, you are well versed in on what these are. You have the ability to select all or deselect all. Again, these checkboxes are very important because you can be very selective about tools that you want to run on either all of your devices or on specific users or even individual users. You can filter your thumbnails again, just like we had on the other side. We have a filter now that changes it to logged in or logged out. This one is a very nice thing. I find that when I do a lot of professional development with teachers, they don't know that this is here, that this is an option for them. So you see, you have a ton of information up here at the top of these thumbnails. This is device name, and especially on Chromebooks, it's going to be their entire email address, which typically for most schools, the in part of it after the at is all the same for your users. So really, to kind of clean this up, you can go ahead and come in here and you can change the thumbnail title. You can change it to just the username. You see on those PC devices, it is kind of handy to change it down there. You can go to device name. If you're in a lab, this might be very handy because you have, US Office 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or in a lab, you want to see the numbers on there. But I find, especially with working with Chromebooks, this one right here is my favorite, display name. You see there, it strips away and just leave the student's display name. This is what has been entered into the Google admin side of things, and it's pulled it over. So now I get a very clear idea of what student is on each device. Take mouse control only. This is another, I find this is a tool that's underutilized as well, especially because this is something that's PC specific. So let me go ahead and make these just a little bit bigger so you can see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to select one of my Windows devices. I'm going to put a check mark right there because I'm only going to run this tool on this device. Now I can run it on multiple, but for this, I just kind of want to zoom in on this one. If I select take mouse control only here, you'll see that I get a nice little cursor right here. This is going to let me know that now I can actually stay right here in thumbnail view, and I can make changes without having to take this into the bigger screen view, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, the different tools that are in the remote view side. But this is very nice. If you see something here, like I want to close down that Spotify, or I'm trying to find something on that device, or, help a student right here in this thumbnail view, this take mouse control only is very handy. When I want to turn this off so that I can take it into full screen view, I will simply come up here, I will stop mouse control only, and you'll see that it's going to remove that from the bottom. So now if I click on this device, it's going to take me into that nice big full screen view where I can remit changes on it in this view. Back over here in thumbnail view, you can run that on multiple devices. So if I wanted to click that again, you see I'm going to have that cursor there, and maybe I'm installing software or I'm wanting to open up something very quickly across a large number of devices, that I could do that right here in thumbnail view and not have to click and take it out into a bigger screen view, go into that, remit the change, close it down, do the next one. I can just do it right here with that mouse control only. We talked about the expand thumbnails. And you can also switch your monitor. So if you have a classroom setup where your students have a dual monitor environment, you can actually switch the monitor so you can view that in the thumbnail view depending on which monitor you want to see on those devices. Now you see when I clicked into Nelson here, it went ahead and opened that up into full screen view, but it also opened it up into tabbed view. So if I go in and I click on a different device, again, I'm going into that full screen view, but you'll see that it's also tabbed it so that I can click back and forth between those two devices, and again, very easily make changes on multiple devices or view multiple devices in this kind of setup in a tabbed view scenario. So, and it doesn't matter, these are PCs and Chromebooks, I can click back and forth. Now, when I want to close those down, I will simply click on those and that's going to close those down. So let's talk about the different tools that are available on different devices. You'll actually see when I go in here and click on a Chromebook, right up here at the top, you see that we've got a different set of tools because there are different tools that are available for Chromebooks than that are available for Windows. So let's talk about Windows first. You do have the ability to take full control of this device. This means that end user can't do anything. They're not fighting me for the mouse. I can go in here and I have full control of this to do whatever I need to on it. Open up any sort of action on here, files, close things down, whatever I need to do. I can also have shared control. This means me and my end user can have shared control of this device. They can take and open things up. I can work with them. Maybe we're working together to kind of show them how to work through a lesson plan. And then also simply you can have no control. You're watching what they're doing. You're just wanting to make sure that they're doing the lesson plans and things like that. You can take no control only. So if you go into it and it's defaulted to this, you can simply click on that and you can change your control right there. You can send a Control Alt Delete command to them, a quick way to open up Task Manager, or you want to lock the device. You could go ahead and do that right here within this full screen view. Remote clipboard. This is a really neat thing that we have offered for our users is the ability to remotely copy and paste back and forth. So you can send information from your device to this device. You can copy text from this device to yours, or you can sync your clipboards, meaning anything that I've copied from the device that I'm looking through the portal to my users, I can actually then paste that over there. I will let you know that with this tool, it is a keyboard command. So like Control C, Control V. You don't want to right click. It doesn't tie into that right click menu that pops up because there's so many options in there. So when you're utilizing this remote clipboard, use it with your keyboard commands, the Control V, Control C, that sort of thing. Quality, you can change the quality of your image, flow, medium, high. Typically, I would say, leave it all the way at high. There's really no reason to leave it at low. An example would be, though, if you were offsite looking back in at devices, you were on your phone, you really had a poor signal, and you wanted your thumbnails to load a little bit quicker, then yeah, go ahead and change the quality. But for the most part, leaving it at high quality is the best way to go. Again, you have that switch monitor functionality right there that you can switch the monitors back and forth and just view what you need to see. Now, let's say you want to take this all the way out to a much bigger scale. You can do that right here. You have a few options. I can click over here and that's going to take it into this sizing. I can click it again. It's going to take us right back down into that tab view. I can then click it and go into full screen best fit. I find that this, if you really wanting to get and look like, on a device, you are wanting to act as if you are sitting right in front of that device and you have control and want to do things, that best fit is the kind of, well, the best fit. That's a good name for it, that you can go ahead and see right there, like you're sitting in front of it. Now you'll see when I come up here to the top and I kind of scroll up the top, it is hidden that bar of tools that I have up there at the top. So again, it gives you a nice clean view of it. You can go in there, you can either click that X right there or the exit full screen and it will take you right back out of that full screen or best fit view. And then you have other options, stretch to fill, remote resolution, full screen resolution, a lot of different things. Everybody's going to be different. We give you a lot of options on how you can utilize our product. So, that's going to be your decision as to how you want to view those monitors. And save screen. This is a really great way to grab a quick screenshot of whatever's happening on this device. So if you see a student doing something good or bad, something you want to praise them for, go ahead and you can click that, and it's going to take a quick screenshot of whatever they have going on that device, and then you can save it to your device to either email out, do whatever you need to do with it. Okay. So let's look at the difference between here and a Chromebook. Now with a Chromebook, you'll see that you have the ability again to change that quality there, change the screen scale again, or save the screen. Now you don't have the same functionality as far as actually taking control of the device that you do on a Windows, and that's simply just because of the restrictions that have been put on us within Google's API to not be able to take control of the device. However, you have so many tools up here that do essentially take control of the device. I find that you can make any changes you need to on a device anyway, that not having that ability to take control of it is not really necessary in this. So again, they do the same thing we talked about on the PCs. You can change the screen scale, you can save the screen or change the quality of it. Excellent. Okay, so let's talk about the tool sets at the top. This, again, it may look, you may have more or less, just depending on how it's been set up for you, in your portal where you are. But these I would consider just our, what I would consider our classroom management set of tools. Now you can customize this in a little bit of a way. You'll notice as I'm kind of scrolling over top of these, I have this little push pin here that's showing up at the top. So maybe a quick question is one of the tools that I utilize all the time. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it's going to sort itself to the beginning of my line of tools. Now these tools are set up in alphabetical order, and so that kind of gives you an idea of when you're moving these around, how they're going to sort themselves like that. But again, if you utilize a tool all the time, go ahead and put that over there. Use those pins to sort them in the order that you need to go. You'll also see that we have then grouped them for you as well into these different options. Your screen options, your action, you're going to remit an action on these devices, your operate, and your admin. If you pin any of these over at the front, you'll see you get a nice other little group here. These are your pinned tools. So you can actually create your own little toolbar of tools that you utilize all the time using this pinned group. Okay, so let's go through the tools. You can search for them if you need to, if you want to get straight to that tool using that search feature right there. Let's go ahead and talk about allow apps first. Allow apps is the ability on Windows devices to be able to restrict applications. Now you'll hear me say things specific like just for Windows devices. Now all of these tools will work on Windows devices, but some of these will have that Chrome emblem as well that indicate they work on Windows and Chrome. So I'll try to remember to indicate which one of these are Windows specific. And then, when we showcase these, I will also show you what it looks like on a Chrome device as well. Applications, restricting applications. These are applications installed locally on the device. So if you wanted to just keep them into Microsoft Word or a keyboarding program or our state testing software, that's another really popular one, you could actually set that up right here. You can even show them a warning box about they can't open anything else. So you would want to put the process in there. Basically, that's just the executable. Here in Texas, we have state testing software that's called TestNav. This is a very popular tool here to utilize during state testing time. So a lot of teachers will come in, select those devices, put in that process. This is the only place they want them to go, and then they'll run it. You can choose a lot of options in here if you want to select things that they can get to, like calculator or Google Chrome, the magnifier. They can open up Microsoft Word as well. So you see we've given you a lot of options in here as far as how you can customize this tool. And something that is very important for a lot of our tools, and I think this is something that for launching websites and different things is a really good thing to have, but just keep this in mind that you can actually use this on all of the tools that we have available. Save it as a shortcut. Go through here, you can set up all your restrictions, your customization, turn off, test it, everything like that. And then when you're ready to have it or run it, you don't have to go through it again. You can actually save it as a shortcut or even create your own icon at the top, so that when you're ready to run this, all your settings are ready to go. You simply click it and you push it out to your devices and you're ready to rock and roll. So on some of these, I'll show you the most popular ways when we lock screen and different things of how to create shortcuts and icons. Block sound. Have the ability to block the sound of the device. On Chromebooks, it's going to block the active tab, and on a Windows device, it's going to block the sound on the whole device. Now, you'll also see in there, we've added this. This is such a nice feature. You have the ability to also mute the remote users' microphones. So if a lot of our teachers utilize this in conjunction with things like Google Meet, teams, so they can see the students on video and they can also see the students' desktops. But a lot of students will have their own headsets and microphones, and we had teachers saying that their students were talking over them, disrupting their lessons, especially in a hybrid learning environment. They're trying to do virtual classes, online learning. So you can actually select and mute those remote devices so that you, the teacher, can give your lesson, go ahead, make sure everybody's paying attention on video and on their desktops. And then when you're ready to have them talk back and you can have a conversation with you can go ahead and turn that option off. And you can even limit the percentage of the volume they can turn it up to. This is really helpful for maybe our younger users in a lab setting so that when they first time they plug their earphones in, it's set to 100. It won't hurt them, that you could actually limit the percentage the volume can go to. Now, Block Web, and what it does is it doesn't disable the internet. It actually disables the user's ability to use a browser. So you see when I run that, I'll go ahead and run that on a Chromebook as well. You'll see that you get this nice little internet disabled tool right there. That lets you know that the internet has been disabled on that device, so that they cannot go into a browser and open anything up. So basically, they're going to be forced to do something that's installed locally on the device. So you see here the internet has been disabled. The internet itself is still active. This is just the ability for them to use a browser. Firefox, IE, Bing, Chrome, it doesn't matter. It's going to tell them internet has been disabled. Now, when you're ready to re-enable the internet, you would simply click re-enable and push it out to your devices, and then it's going to go ahead and allow them to jump right back in and get access to that browser again. Now, you see this one, it's still enabled. Oh, that's something I would introduce there. That's a great thing that just happened there. You see, because I was in full screen of that device, when I ran that, it's only going to run this tool on this individual device when I'm in full screen view. So if you are in this and you just want to send information or run a tool back and forth, if you're in this full screen kind of tab view, it's only going to make that change or run that tool on this individual device. When you want to run this or any tool on multiple devices, you will want to be in this thumbnail view and choosing those check boxes there. So that, because I was in that screen view, it only re-enabled the internet on that individual device. If I want to enable the internet on this device, I would then select it, and there it goes. It's removed. Broadcast your screen. Have the ability to broadcast your screen out to your users. You can utilize this from a teacher's device out or for a student device. A great example that I've seen with doing PD with teachers is where hybrid learning students are at home, but they still have reports and presentations, slideshows that they want to present out to their class. You could actually select that user right here, and they could present it out to their class, their virtual class, just like they were in the classroom, bringing their laptop in and doing their presentation. So I'm going to select that device down there as my broadcaster. I can select the option to turn the broadcast, show the broadcast in a window, not allow them to close it. I can even change the size of it on there. And when I click start, it's going to go ahead and project out onto these other desktops, whatever is happening here on Nelson's. Now on this PC device, you'll see that I also get, I'm going to go into full screen so you can see this a little bit better. Right here, I get this option because I am the broadcaster that I can actually switch monitor. So as a teacher, a lot of teacher setups have dual monitor setups. So this is a great way for you to be able to select which monitor you want to broadcast out to your students. You could have one open that, you're working on a different lesson plan, or you have notes open, and then one of your monitors has your presentation that you're going to push out to your students. So that's a really nice feature to have right there. And then you can actually end the transmission right here in this view, and then you can also end the transmission as well within the tool itself, and you'll see that it's going to go ahead and close that broadcast for our users. So that's just maybe something, that little box as far as the ability to select that different screen may not be something that you knew was a functionality of that tool. Okay, close tab. I'm actually going to talk about launch tab and close tab in conjunction because I feel like they work really well together, and especially giving an example. So I'm going to start with launch. Now you'll see when I click on launch, I can actually have, again, that tab view. I can have multiple tools open at the same time. So if it's something, excuse me, I didn't mean to close that down. I wanted to switch back and forth very quickly in utilizing these tools. It's nice to have them right here so that I can click back and forth. And now let's start with launch. Launch, I'm going to launch this out to every device I have in here. I'm going to go ahead and select all. I'm going to choose website first. If you want to run this in a specific browser, maybe this is software or a website URL that you know that only works in a specific browser, you can go ahead and select that right here. Now, don't worry if you set it to default and that these devices don't have that specific browser on there. It's, again, it's going to open it whatever default browser. So let's say you select Firefox here and you click run, and for some reason the device does not have Firefox on it. Well, guess what? It's just going to tell you, hey, it didn't have Firefox, but I still ran the tool. I just ran it in whatever the default browser was set on that device. So it's just going to not run it because it doesn't have Firefox on it. Great thing about it that it will go ahead and say, hey man, I couldn't find it, but I'm still going to run the tool for you. Don't worry. So see what happened there is I pushed that out to all my devices. Now I can push out multiple things. iStation.com, type it in, copy and paste. It's completely up to you. However you want to utilize that tool. Again, you can see I can open up multiple tabs over and over and over, just like that on these devices. Now, let's say, for example, this is something I utilize all the time, senso.cloud. This is a website, or let's use a different one so you can kind of get an idea. PBS, let's do PBS, pbs.org. So this side I utilize all the time. I don't want to have to come in here and type it in. So I want to save it as a shortcut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Save as a Shortcut. I'm going to label this PBS, and I'm also going to create an icon so you can see the options that you have with this. You can do either or, but we're going to do both in this example. Now, if this is something that you want to utilize later on, you don't want to push it out to the devices right now. You just want to save it for later use in lesson plans, save and close. But if you save and run, it's going to go ahead and push that out to your devices automatically. And it's also, you'll see what happened right here, is it's going to create this nice little shortcut for you so you don't have to type it in and change all your settings. It's going to push it out for you. And it's also going to create right there a nice little icon. Again, if I click on it, I've created my own button in there. I can go ahead and push that out to my devices with one click. It's all about the least amount of clicks, isn't it? So remember that this save as a save as a shortcut is a very handy tool to have. Okay, you can also launch applications. Now, on Windows devices, these are going to be things that are locally installed on there. Let's just use notepad.exe, msword.exe, Excel, Access, whatever it is that locally installed on there that you want to go ahead and automatically run. You could use this to do that. One of the things I don't think people realize is that you can also utilize this tool to run extensions on Chromebooks. So I'm going to actually, I have saved up here the extension for slides, and I'm going to click that, and you'll see what's going to happen on here is I'm actually going to forcibly open Google Slides for my users. So this is very handy, especially in virtual classrooms. You're trying to get everybody on the same page all at the same time. You can say, hey guys, I've opened up Google Slides for you. This is our lesson for today. I'm going to have you create a slideshow over Women's History Month. And then you can jump straight into your classroom and not waste time trying to get 30 kids all to figure out how to open up Google Slides. Now, to utilize this, you'll see here that it is a unique ID. In the Chrome browser, all extensions, if you go to More Tools and Extensions, they all have unique IDs. You see these unique IDs right there. So something like Google Docs, I would simply need to copy that unique ID, and back over here in my portal, I would paste it right there with application. And again, save it as a shortcut so you don't have to do that every time you want to run that. And then when you do run that, it's going to go ahead and open up Google Docs for you. So this is something that teachers love this when I show this to them, that they can go ahead and have that, especially on these Chrome devices, the ability to save that and be able to open that up for their students in a virtual classroom. Now, close tab. Now, you'll see the reason that I wanted to use launch first is because now I have the ability on these devices to actually close the active tab down. So if I click run, you see right here on these devices in a Chrome browser, so it would have to be on Chrome on your Windows as well, but most users use Chrome on here anyway, that if I click close tab, it's going to close whatever active tab they're on. If I keep clicking it, I just keep clicking it, it's going to close it all the way down to essentially the desktop of the device. I'm going to keep going and it's going to take us all the way out. So you do have the ability to really take control of that device, force out applications, extensions, websites to them, and you can even close tabs down. Now, control has been what we've been doing on these Windows devices down here, but it's just another way to utilize taking remote control of that device. So if I select a device and I click control, guess what's going to happen? It's going to take me in so that I have full control of that device, and now I can sit here and make changes on it as needed. In session, I love this one. This one's great, especially in a lab. Have the ability to log out. So I'm going to pull this one up so you get a nice bigger view of it. You have the ability to log out, restart, or shut down devices. One, multiple, whatever you want to do, utilize in session. From here, you can actually allow the user to cancel. You can even wait until they're idle. So especially a lab teacher, if the students have left and these devices are idle for any amount of time, then go ahead and set that and it will actually log them out or shut it down, whatever you want to do. Give them a customized message, save your work. So that they know that something is you have made a change on their device, and then you can give a delay of however many seconds you want them to have before it does whatever the session type is up here. Now for our admins, this is something that we've added so that you cannot do this on Windows servers because you probably don't want to shut down your servers at your school. So I'm going to go ahead and run it on this individual device, and you'll see what's going to happen here. I get this nice little pop-up. You are being logged off, save your work, and it gives them a countdown timer so they know how much time they have to save their work. And because I allowed them to cancel it, if they were still working, they could sit there and click cancel. This could also be set up for your admin team on a schedule for power management at the end of the day so that you could go ahead and log out or shut down all your computers at night. For teachers, they'll usually will save this as a shortcut. So at the end of the day, when they're ready to close their classroom down, they can go ahead and just click, and then they would save it from their shortcut and run this tool, and they don't have to type everything in again. I keep getting like, I should have turned off my pop-up messages. I forgot to. Okay. So live chat, have a live chat back and forth with your users. Okay, let's go ahead and go into full screen so it's a little bit easier. So this is hello world. So I go ahead and click run. So now my user is going to see that it's from Mrs. Supertext up there, and we can have a chat back and forth. So I can say hello as the student. I'm also going to be able to see this in the thumbnail view. I'm also going to see it over here in the module itself. So you could send this out to one student, multiple students, have many live chats back and forth with your users. When you're ready, you can simply, in the chat session, or you can type in chat right there, and it will go ahead and close that down on that device. So just remember, this is something that is a Windows specific tool. Now we do have a messaging for Chromebook that I will show you in just a moment. Lock screen, have the ability to lock the screens. Again, use those shortcuts like I keep talking about, that you can customize this and go ahead and lock those devices down as for classroom management. You want them to listen to all of the information based on a lesson before they get started. They're not trying to open up Spotify. They're not trying to go into whatever they're trying to do. They're listening to all instructions. When you are ready for them to go ahead and then do the lesson plan, you can come in here and unlock their devices. You see you have a lot of customization in this tool, from background color to, again, customized message. And this one, you see that I have made that shortcut because I utilize this tool all the time. Log on. Have the ability to remotely log on to a device. Right here, username, password in an AD environment, and if you leave that blank, it will actually log on locally to that device. Again, a great tool for a lab environment. Now, logging, this is going to be part of our safeguarding. This is something that is not part of classroom management, but it is something that is hard coded into the portal. So it will show there, but if you ever click on it, it will say that you don't have permission to view that tool. Quick question. This is a fun one. You can send out, beginning of the lesson, pre-assessment, post-assessment ideas. Get an idea of what your students are, where they are in a certain place with your lesson. So this is going to be how many bits are in a byte. Okay, give your answer choices down here. Whatever you want to do, up to 4 answer choices. Again, save it as a shortcut. You can have an infinite amount of shortcuts, as many as you want. So you have all your questions marked in there so that you can utilize it all the time. And then you run it on your student devices. They're going to get that quick question. They can come in there and answer, send in their answer choice. And when they send in their answer choice, you can see it right here in the tool itself. And you can also export this to a CSV or print it out. So this is another great assessment tool that you can get a clear idea from your students as to, answer choices, who got it right, who got it wrong, across the board from your Senso portal. So it's a very nice thing to have. Send file. I have the ability to send files to your users. This is something, I love this, in that you can use this to, excuse me, hold on just a second. I'm going to close that down. There we go. Okay. Upload files to your cloud device. Now, because we are a cloud portal, this is going to follow your account around. So you can upload from home and then go to school and have that file there. You can upload at your school device and go home and be on your home laptop and still have that file there to send out to your students. So this is going to follow your account around until you delete it. So it's nice to know that you have the ability to upload and save multiple types of files in here. Lesson plans, PDFs, PNGs, whatever. I'm going to send an image out to my devices. I'm going to automatically run after sending. I can, use logged in user permissions if I'm installing something. Again, use it with elevated privileges. On Windows devices, you can actually save it to a specific location. And what that does is if you want it to go somewhere, within documents or somewhere else on their device, you can actually change. But you don't necessarily need to do that, because what we do is very clever. Within, let's go here. Within the file directory, within documents, you'll see that we create a folder called Senso received files, and it's going to actually put those files right there for you in Senso received files. So it's very easy for your students to find information that you have sent to them. So just keep that in mind. If you keep that blank, there is a specific area that will go into, and will save it for them in that Senso received file. So if they say, I didn't get it, you can say, well, it'll be right there in your Senso received files. Send message. This is a static message that you can send out to your users. Again, you can save it as a shortcut. So this one, whatever you want to label it right there. So hello, I'm going to send that out to my users. This is a static message for them. This is not a back and forth conversation. This is just going to be a pop-up box on there. One of the things as far as classroom management on Chromebooks to keep in mind, you see here down the bottom, this little number, that is a way for your students to know that there is something there for them to see. There's information here you need to click on. If there's a number in that, let them know that you may have sent them a message, a file, whatever, that they need to know that that number means something has been sent to them. Unlock windows. This is a great tool to be able to unlock and lock windows without having to request or put in the user's password. So if you want to just quickly lock student devices, and so break time or lunch or whatever, and then when you're ready to have them come back in and get back to work, that you can quickly unlock that and kick it back to work. Now, if you locked it from your portal and someone came in and you were gone and sat down at the device, they would still have to enter their password in. It's not going to just automatically automatically take them into that device. It's going to request that. But for you, it's very nice, especially with the younger grades, to have the ability to go in there and quickly lock or unlock devices without having to have the user's password entered that way. Okay, a couple other little things I'd like to showcase before we switch over to the question and answer time of it. You have the ability right here to slide the groups out of the way to, again, customize your portal and really get in there real close to see your users. And then you can slide that back out if you want to see your groups of information here. Another area that you may not know about, you'll see on here on these devices how it says new message from super text. Now, typically with these, your name has already been set up when it was deployed by your IT team. But if you find that it just says console user, it does not have your name in there, you probably have access right here to go to your name up in the top right hand corner and go to profile. Now, profile is where you can set some of your console preferences and your account details. You see there where it says display name, you could change it to be whatever you wanted your display name is to be out to your users. And you can also edit it for your console preferences, how many thumbnails you want to see on each page of your thumbnail view. If you want to change the theme of your console, this is right here. You can change it to dark mode. You can also default it to go straight into thumbnail view instead of list view. You can change the quality. You can default control state. So when you go straight into it, you're automatically going to have full control. That's going to be all right here. So if I click confirm, you'll see the changes have been made. And now it's going to make those changes over here. And you see, because I want to go straight into thumbnail view, it's going to take me straight into thumbnail view instead of list view. And now I'm in my super cool dark mode. And then where I said about console name is going to be, again, right here where it says new message from Mrs. Supertext right there. So again, that may be something as far as the preferences you may not realize that you had access to up there in the profile area for your Senso portal. Okay, guys, man, we went through a lot of information today. So I would love to send this out to you guys now. Questions that you may have, anything you'd like to go back over. Been using this and you want to talk to me about it. This is the time to do that. Go ahead and ask me now. All right, while we may be waiting for anyone to have a question or anything they'd like to comment on, I will introduce you to our YouTube channel. Over here, if you go and search for senso.cloud on YouTube, we have a wonderful YouTube channel that's been constantly updated. It usually we update on Fridays, but we've had so much content going out lately. It's just been almost every day there's something new there. You'll see if you go into videos, we have a lot of videos about how to utilize our product, but we also are organizing these into playlists. So the one today that we went over, you'll see right here, classroom management training videos, is in a nice little playlist. You don't have to go through 45 minutes all at once. You can go in specifically in these nice little short consumable videos. I can't remember how we use lock screen. You can go right in there and see how to use lock screen. We also have other different introductions to different tools, and our live webinar series, the one that you are participating in right now, will go down in here into this playlist so you have access to this after they're done. All right, everyone. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, please contact us if you have any further questions or would like to set up any more trainings. You can also contact your customer success representative or simply go to support.senso.cloud and submit a ticket with us. Look for this live broadcast on our YouTube channel to watch later on. And I hope everyone has, as my teachers used to say, a great Friday. And a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.